All right, everybody, let's do church. Welcome to our virtual celebration for July 18th, 2021. We have Peggy Lebo in the house as our special music guest. Our artist in resident Lee Coulter is in the house as well. And our practitioner in service is Annie Matros. I'm just so grateful that you are part of our spiritual community, and I want to let you know some upcoming event that is happening. On August 12th, we are having an evening with Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. and his brother Don Jose. Tickets are on sale on the website. It's going to be a wonderful evening. Tickets are going fast, so please get that. And also, in addition to that, Daring Greatly will be the opening act. So I do hope that you mark your calendars, buy your tickets, and come celebrate with us.
You've tasted the sweetness and sadness of love, full of its pain and its glory. You wandered alone in search of a home, fast asleep in your story. But you are so much more than the stories that run through your days and your dreams. You are so much more than your story, no matter how true it may seem. You're much more, so much more, so much more. We are hostages here in the desert. We are runaways far from the sea, dreaming of water and days on the shore when we knew how it felt to be free. We are so much more than the stories that run through our days and our dreams. We are so much more than our stories, no matter how true they may seem. We're much more, so much more. We are 1,000 colors. We are 1,000 dreams. There are 1,000 ways to find our way back to what we're meant to be. We are so much more than the stories that run through our days and our dreams. We are so much more than our stories, no matter how true they may seem. We're much more, so much more, so much more, so much more.
That's Hilltop Spiritual Center. So I'm so honored to be here as your practitioner today. So I intend right here and now to be present with each of you. I intend to hold myself in a place of loving kindness and goodness. And I know that's why each and every one of us are here. We find this place of beauty and love and truth right here at Hilltop Center. So here's the prayer. The love that I am. The love that I am is here and now, here and now, here and now, present. It is the truth of my being. It is the source of my source. And it is when I am in this place, I give my best, I heal, and I become a presence of the divine, that I will be filled up and lifted by this service. That the music and the love of the community and the inspiration of the conversations, we are truly one. So if the divine was shining on us now, for I know that he, she is, that divine beloved, I'm going to say, will say, I love you. I am blessed by your presence. You are a guiding light for me. And we would say back, please use me. I am an instrument of thy grace. I am an instrument of thy peace. And I am here for the greater purpose of the greater good. So I know this to be true for each and every one of us. I know it is true for me in my heart. And I call it forth into being, knowing it is so. And so it is. We were the people who were not in the papers. We lived in the blank white spaces at the edges of print. It gave us more freedom. We lived in the gaps between the stories. By Margaret Atwood.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. And it is to this great spirit that we open up our hearts for this 3-minute meditation, allowing ourselves to sit comfortably and indeed take several deep breaths. For as we inspire, we breathe in this great spirit, this love, this divine beingness. And as we exhale, we simply allow and let be. Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. I sit in an open heart, for wherever I am in this very instant, this moment, this present moment, I can radiate my awareness to all that is. In this place of receptivity, I allow my mind to dwell on the elements of nature, on the beauty of earth and sun and sky and sea, on the receptivity that you are inside and all around me. I allow this truth to settle into my being. This truth always all-pervading. What is inside is all around me. We take these few precious moments, this sacred pause. Pause now. Pause now with me in this moment, and again in the next. We take a sacred pause to listen, to feel, and to breathe, and to acknowledge that this divine beingness is inside and all around me. I am grateful for the awareness, the breath of life, and the continuation of this divine spirit, for its teachings and its message and its divine order. I call it forth, knowing that it exists in, through, and as all things. Guide me, protect me, and give me the strength and courage to step forward, known or unknown, in great faith, in great truth, for my heart of hearts knows that you are inside and all around me, and so it is.
Hello, everybody. This month, our conversation is on the path of freedom. And I love the definition that Merriam-Webster gives for freedom: the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. So let me ask this question to you. If you were truly free, if the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint was completely lifted from you, what would you be free to create in your life and the life around you? Let's think about that for a second. So, something that I am learning more and more is this, is that promises made by coercion are not binding. And there's a word for coercion. It's called tyranny. One of the things that I know about the framers of the Declaration of Independence is they belong to a fraternal brotherhood. And these guys were allergic to tyranny. In fact, the very basis of their organization is an injunction against tyranny. And speaking of the framers of the Constitution, in the Declaration of Independence, there's this powerful line. It's at the end of it, but I think it says everything, and it's certainly salient to what I want to talk to today, in that they end it by saying, "And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." Our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. They were in the game. They were fully committed. They were dedicated. And I think to experience freedom, we must also experience dedication. Dedication to form our life, to remember, and to engage with other people that hold these same values. I'm reading this book right now by a guy by the name of Pete Davis. The book is called Dedicated. And it begins to speak to this whole thing by talking about this idea of infinite browser mode. You know what that is. It's thinking about what you're wanting to do instead of doing what it is that you want to do. An example that he gives is this. You come home tired one day, you sit down and you pull up Netflix to see what's on, and you spend the next 40 minutes looking at your options without ever choosing something. And finally you say, "Oh man, I'm tired, I'm going to bed," and nothing gets accomplished. And we do that in so many areas of our life, right? That we're always looking for what the options are, as opposed to dedicating ourselves to the thing that it is that we want to do. And just like the framers of the Constitution, something powerful happens when we dedicate ourselves. In his book, Pete Davis says this: "The kinds of people that I'm talking about here are rebels. They live their lives in defiance of this dominant culture. They're citizens. They feel responsible for what happens to society. They're patriots. They love the places where they live and the neighbors who populate those places. They're builders. They turn ideas into reality over the long haul. They're stewards. They keep watch over institutions and communities. They're artisans. They take pride in their craft. And they're companions. They give time to people. So this is what Margaret Atwood was talking about in the reading that Andrea gave today. This concept of really going against a culture that is always offering us options, going against a mentality that's kind of afraid. You know, one of the things that he talks about in this book is that there's kind of like 3 fears that keep us from being really dedicated. And I want to talk about these over the next several months. The first is we have this fear of regret. That if we commit ourselves to this, that we'll regret what we did, and that we'll regret that we have not committed to something else. The second fear is that we have this fear of association, that we think that if we commit to something, that we'll be vulnerable to the chaos in which this thing is. And let's face it, when we commit to something, it's going to go through order, disorder, reorder. So the question is, can we stay with it through the long haul? Can we dedicate ourselves and move through, see what changes in us and see what changes in that? And then the third one is this, is that we fear that we're missing out. You know, there's even a meme for it, isn't there? Fear of missing out. That if we commit, that if we dedicate ourselves to something, that we'll regret the commitments that come with it. But you know, sometimes those commitments become a joy and not a burden. So really what we're talking about here is how we begin to shift our consciousness to deepen in, to think about the framers of the Declaration of Independence, because they were onto something, and that is this, is that no one is great alone. No one achieves their life's dreams alone, because we are social creatures. We are part of something greater than ourselves, and that's the whole thing, right? When we commit ourselves to an ideal, a value that is greater than ourselves, we become connected to all that is. Dr. Holmes says this, treatment is the clarification of thought. It is clear thinking. So my invitation to each of us when you are watching this now is to engage in clear thinking. And I'd like to take this time to pray with you. So relax, settle in. As Emerson says, prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. So let's begin with that, this contemplation that there is one life, one presence, that in the cosmos in which we live, everything is interconnected to everything else, and everything proceeds from the same thing. Let there be light, and there was light. Let there be consciousness, and there is consciousness. That there is this unfoldment of love that pervades all things. That God is present. That God is luring us into the greatest possibility and the greatest good. That we are not separate from this, but it is the very essence of our being. That the simple act of breathing, of being present, of remembering, clarifies our thought, opens our consciousness. And so we open ourselves to that thing that is luring us beyond the illusions of necessity or coercion or constraint. That with God, all things are possible, because with God, there's a new imagination, a new sense of possibility, that we are part of something that is emerging. And so we are grateful. I am grateful in this moment as I consider each and every one of you part of this Sangha, of this spiritual community. I am grateful for the infinite possibilities that reveal themselves to us every moment. I'm grateful for the renewal that is there. And I am grateful for the love that is present, the love that allows us to give and receive, to transform, and to be transformed. And knowing that this infinite presence receives the direct imprints of our thoughts and acts upon them, it is done. I release. I let go. with great joy and expectation. And so it is. And so, dear friends, I wish you the very best and look forward to our time together soon.
Hey, what you doing? Where you going? Who you know? And it's all the same. Our ancestors had all the answers, dancing their dances in the rain. 'Cause love is a river, it flows in the music, grows in the streams of our energy. An ocean of dreams, of blues and greens, between the stars and the sky, and you and me. Hey, why the attitude? What's with the bitter mood? You'd feel better if you seize the day. Just welcome what it brings in the greater scheme of things. There's no time to feel this way. 'Cause love is a river, it flows in the music and grows in the streams of our energy. An ocean of dreams, of blues and greens, between the stars and the sky, and you and me sing. The ocean roared today that something was wrong, as if it tried to say it won't be long. We better learn how to live together, 'cause there's a change coming in the weather. So wave us goodbye till we're all gone and keep rolling on. Took our religion and revolution, smell the pollution in your mind. Well, Mother Nature, she'll levitate you, never hate you if you treat her kind. 'Cause love is a river, it flows in the music, grows in the streams of our energy. An ocean of dreams, of blues and greens, between the stars and the sky, and you and me. So love is a river, and it grows in the streams of our energy. An ocean of dreams, of blues and greens, between the stars and the sky, and you and me the same.
Have we been inspired? Have we been lifted up? Has the song and the celebration of life and love and the renewal of this life been so filled up? It has for me. I know it has for all of us at Hilltop Spiritual Center, and may it be for you as well, for this gift of love and light is for you. So this is a moment of conscious giving to truly honor yourself and the gift that you have given yourself by coming to the Hilltop Spiritual Center in this amazing virtual celebration. We are so delighted that you have come and you have shared your good with us. We know that your talent and treasures inspire us, and that we are so grateful for the gifts that you give. I have been inspired by the consciousness through the wisdom of the teachings, for the music that lifts up, for this entire celebration, for the people that make this happen. And you are a part of that. So knowing that this service inspires us all and lifts us up to the greater good, these are the reasons why I give to Hilltop Spiritual Center. It nurtures my soul. It fills my heart. I am inspired as I go forth, as these services lift us up. So we are together in unity and oneness. And as you receive the blessings from this service, we ask that you offer to Hilltop Center, to this spiritual endeavor, the gift of financial contribution. And we are so grateful that you do. Thank you so much for your gift of giving and for joining us, being a part of our spiritual center. Blessed be.
Again, recognizing that we are living in soul. We are living in divinity itself. The very air we breathe, the very stars we see, all that awakens love and joy within us, it is all connected. It is all part of this one life, this one presence that is in and through and as all things. It is the very ground of being. Its power is love. And so as we choose love, we bless those whom we give and receive love from, giving thanks for all that is and for this day.